Hey, mini heathens, it's Karen from Deconversion Therapy, and over there is
Bonnie, wondering if you said manny heathens or mini heathens, like tiny ones.
I thought I said hello, heathens. I already forgot.
You said hello, mini heathens. Like they're tiny.
Well, I guess it's time to tell you that I might be a bit buzzed. So that's going to make for an exciting show and for me to remember the through line of what I've said.
Fantastic. So this is Bonnie, and we are coming to you the day before Easter, Easter Eve, which doesn't really mean anything except that, you know, you're planning to get to church early so you can get a seat because everyone's going to be there.
And remember,
being so annoying.
This is when Jesus, I think, is in hell, depending on what, you believe, because supposedly Jesus died and then he went down and he conquered hell. Now,
he did all that in like 2 days?
And it didn't take, it seems. It seems that
he went down there, pew, pew, pew.
So that's why Little Nas X has gone back down. So waiting for the results. We'll see.
So if you'd like to find us on a digital platform of some sort, you can look first, I would say, to a great Facebook group, which is a private thing, and you have to ask questions. Nope, you have to answer questions to be let in.
I will ask the questions. It's an Office reference. People know it.
And they're not trick questions or anything, but it's a really nice place to chat with other people and get some support, because apparently, like, you would have liked this when you were in the process of deconverting.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you?
Totally.
Yeah. Me, I just had secular friends. All right, so then there's Twitter. Like, that's all we have to say about Twitter.
I know.
And there's Twitter.
I was loving it. And then when I got on TikTok, now I'm obsessed with TikTok. Like, I have a real problem. 1, organization. 2,
I'll get home at night, put on comfortable clothes, sit there and scroll through the day to see what happened. And I'll send you something from like 11, like, oh my God, this happened. You're like, yeah, I know.
Bob Hope died.
That's right. Bob Hope.
Well, there was.
So kids, that's a guy who used to do comedy. Bob Hope actually lived in my neighborhood in Los Angeles.
Oh.
Yeah, and when I would walk around the neighborhood, I'd walk past this giant estate that was Bob Hope's, and I'd go by this street, and I realized it was Gary Marshall's street because the street was called Arcola, which was Chachi's last name.
Oh.
No, there you go.
Very cool.
It's all full circle.
It is. Back to Scott Baio and how he's fallen from grace.
It all somehow comes back to Scott Baio.
Which goes perfectly into what we're talking about today, which is someone who's become a tad unhinged and has a long sort of bowl cut that's grown out.
One of the things that's sad, should we start talking about her now?
Sure.
Okay. One of the things that makes me a little bit sad is I was reading something about Gwen Stefani, and she was looking over her fashion choices from years past. And she said she wanted to have light pink hair. Mm-hmm. And instead it came out this really hot pink. And I'm thinking, oh, that's the color Gwen Stefani wanted on this lady who we're going to talk about, whose name is
Kerr. Kerr. Yeah.
Kerr?
Which I guess is for Catherine. Kerr, Kerr. And she is a prophetess, and I guess she's, in her 60s, maybe 70. But she has blondish white hair, and then she has these pink highlights.
And they're varying depending on what year it is.
Do you know why she has them?
God told her to do it from what I read.
That's right.
Or whatever she sees as God.
That's it.
She keeps seeing a lot of shit. And then telling people about it. And then, I don't know about you, but one of the things that annoyed me about prepping for this, and I admit you prepped, I would say 94% of this. every clip I would watch is she's not funny.
That's what I love about you, is that I think you're waiting for them to turn into John Mulaney in front of you. They're not funny, and to me that makes it funny. So like you're like, I can't stand this, and I'm like, I could listen forever. I can't get enough.
When I see these people in real life, I just want to leave after.
Well, you should. That's probably why you left the church way before I did. Yeah.
However, I mean, just because somebody's not funny, if they're interesting, then I'll stick around too. But she is neither.
Oh, she's interesting. I mean, case study, interesting.
But don't you find, like, if I were to just pull you aside, if we were colleagues or coworkers or what have you, and we're just having regular conversation, and I tell you about a dream I had last night, don't you immediately zone out? Yep. Like, oh my God.
Even when my kids do that.
They tell you your dreams? I mean, they tell you their dreams?
Oh, I had this dream last night. Well, I wait to hear the part where I show up. But the rest...
That's what people say. The only time that you ever want to hear what happens after I had a dream last night is if you're in it or if it was a sex dream. Like, and you hope that it's not both, I guess, if it's your child.
Right.
But that's exactly what she's doing.
But these aren't
just
dreams,
telling all
Bonnie.
The diddly-doo that happens in her brain.
This is real. This isn't dreams. It's as real as the hair color. It's all real. So Kat Kerr.
Also, yeah, you tell.
So Kat Kerr lives in Jacksonville now, and she's not a pastor. She's a prophetess. And I decided to clip on our little doc here. I just grabbed the first picture of her that came up. And it's her doing sort of a peekaboo behind peacock feathers. So it's...
Yeah, and it looks like it could easily be Kristen Wiig.
Yeah. Oh, we should pitch this to Kristen Wiig. This would be perfect.
Oh, yeah, except she would have to do a lot of writing to make it funny.
It is hilarious.
The fact that she completely believes this is hilarious, this lady.
The earnestness is...
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people are saying... Well, a lot of people say, okay, if people see Jesus or they hear them or they hear God, like that's a mental illness. I don't always believe that at all. Like I feel that we all experience things that have been impressed on us, as in we know that's how advertising works, where we think a product is worth purchasing because it's been in front of us enough that we, see it and we don't even remember that we've seen a commercial, but we think, that's what I want. So
I have had a recurring dream so many times about searching for an apartment in New York, and I go to the same one over and over again.
Do I show up in this dream?
That I have come to feel as though it's a real place.
Yes.
And so I can see where she's going with this. If she has the same dream about heaven over and over again,
but these aren't dreams. These are real. So what?
But she thinks they're real.
Right. Well, she wasn't sleeping when these things happened. So I think it was like 1996. She'd been in the church. She'd been in the charismatic movement, which means you believe that the Holy Spirit plays a much bigger role than we did as Baptists, where there's speaking in tongues and healing and, visions, etc. So she says in 1996, she was all caught up in this and praying, and then suddenly Jesus walked into her house, and he came with God, which that confused me. Anywho, and they're like, we want to take you to heaven and show you what heaven is like, so that you can then return and you can tell people, because the end of the world, there's a few different ways people interpret Revelation, but when the tribulation's going to be. But the bottom line is, all this shit's going to happen, and then there's going to be a new earth. So she is supposed to be, quote, part of the, hey, let me show you what heaven's like so you can get an idea of what new earth is going to be like. Because lots of people think heaven is boring. So off she pops to heaven with Jesus and God.
She clearly nodded off in her chair at home.
It says she was getting these for a while, for like 8 hours, 16 hours a day for like months, where she can't be sleeping all that time. I don't know.
But that's also called imagination.
Oh, I agree. I think that's exactly what we're talking about. I think she went to a church that liked to talk about Revelation and trying to interpret all that shit. And then she, prays a lot, and then she thinks she sees things, and there you go.
Sure, because it used to happen a lot. Why don't we have God coming down talking to us anymore? Like a rock or something like that. Isn't that from the Old Testament?
Well,
a rock spoke.
I don't know if there's a rock. There's we've got a tree.
A snake.
The snake was Satan. But
whatever. Sorry.
And Bonnie fails.
but like there were all these, stories in Old Testament of God coming down and giving you a message.
Right.
So, it was something that she figured out. Okay, so the only way that God can come to you is in a vision. Why can't he print some words on my Roman shades here? Why can't he do something magical like that? It's always a vision. It's always a vision. Do something else. What about those gold tablets, in the Mormon church? Is it gold tablets? Mm-hmm. I don't remember. But now they're mysteriously gone. So, you know what? If God could come up with a different way of giving us some information, maybe we'd go along with it. But if it's all coming out of your brain,
and then
that's old,
right? Dye your hair pink and peekaboo out of some peacock feathers. It's hard to take seriously. But
yes. So she went with the old way of getting information, but then she added her own crap to what she saw. So go ahead,
let
tell
the
more.
Listeners be the judge of that.
Okay.
Did you read what was revealed when she went to heaven? She's gone about 1,000 times, let me say. She really has, according to her.
Heaven was described as having all sorts of beautiful colors, and they're blue and aqua, but not like blues you've ever seen before. I'm like, oh, then how did you see it? Okay. And it was something like there's rain, but it doesn't make you feel wet and gross, and I'm paraphrasing, right. But it makes you feel great and just smothered all over in happy. And then she said there were roller coasters. So things are supposed to be happy. And I think that that's a clear judgment call, because roller coasters aren't for everyone.
Well, that's what she said. There's something for everyone. So there is an amusement park there, and one of the roller coasters does flips, and it's called the Rush. So she knows the names.
She named it?
Oh, no,
okay.
God did. She knows the names of these things. And when I heard her, she does these videos of just her sitting there, sometimes in a Trump scarf and whatnot. But sometimes she goes and speaks at churches. So I listened. I didn't get to see the congregation, but I saw her speaking. And when she said that, people in the audience started laughing. And she goes, "We're not God, are we?" And they sort of stopped, and she goes, "We're not God, amen?" And then the people said amen. And she did that a few times that I was like, she's actually doing a master class because every time she said something really weird, she, I guess, could tell by people what they were looking like that she went right in and said, I'm glad his ways are higher than mine. Don't you? Don't you? And wait for an amen. I'm like, ooh, she good.
Yeah. Like, oh, really? You're better than God? You can come up with a better heaven? This is what he's giving you. Roller coasters.
Right. So
and ice cream.
Yeah, so you do eat, she said. She said that the mansions are usually all about your own hobbies. So if you like writing and reading it, maybe it's a big library and fancy pens and Shakespeare comes and eats with you or whatever. But you have these long tables where you have friends come over all the time and you do eat food and the food tastes better than on Earth.
Right.
But then it just disappears, so there's no cleanup. I think she had them say amen after that one. And you don't put on weight, and they don't, she said, you didn't, pretty much she said you don't pee and poo. Like there's no digestive system happening.
Oh, there's no unpleasantness that comes with life.
Right.
What if I like to nap a lot?
Then you will have the nap place. I think it's called Napster. But
she also described it as things that weren't there. No mold, no mildew, or rust. Like, okay.
It's very
That's
specific. That's it. She was like down to the T of specificity.
Please. She was just describing the annoyances of her life for that day and how they wouldn't be there. Like,
True. Write this down.
There's no lady who can't get her microwave working. There's no old coot who jams into your parking spot and leaves his basket right in front of you. Oh my gosh. Does that happen all the time with you?
Yes.
The basket thing.
It's not really. We don't have as elderly of people in general.
Oh my God. They leave their baskets just wherever they're finished with them. They might be still rolling.
To show you what the rapture's going to be like. Carts will be everywhere. Spinning out of control.
It's just going to be grocery carts, that one wobbly wheel. And this guy gets in his car the other day. He's one away from the little median where people kind of hoist him on there so they don't roll away. But no, he just abandons it like it's a turkey leg he's eating that he's done with. Throws it on the ground. Anyway. All right. So no mold, no mildew, no rust. No things that she was working around the house with.
Nope.
That day.
And, what really got me as this has to be true, she said, there's a few different ways you can travel. One, any kid, write down this because it's specific again, 5 or older gets their own hoverboard.
5 or older?
Yep, 5 or older.
Whatever Milton Bradley has deemed
I guess
the appropriate
so.
age.
I guess God is not powerful enough to protect the 4.5-year-old on it.
There's a little poster. You must be this high or older. Wait, no, that's not right. You must be this tall to ride the roller coaster.
And she said that, no one is really sitting on clouds unless you want to sit on the cloud. But you can. There are these like airships that you can have to go around. Kids also travel in bubbles, like the bubbles you blow, you can get inside one and then float wherever you want to into the different areas of heaven. And then the bubble pops when you get where you want.
Then you land.
Does that sound familiar? Does that sound like Willy Wonka a bit?
It sound that the floating in the bubble thing does when they eat or when they drink the cola. But it sounds like the Jetsons. Like maybe she fell asleep watching the Jetsons.
Because she totally compared it. She said, it's sort of like the Jetsons. Like everything is very comparable to a movie, which remind me to come back to movies. But with the traveling, she said that you can fly, that she passed the flight school, so you can take lessons. I'm going to tell it like she did.
Okay, why do you have to take lessons?
Well, I got to do it just like she did. I'm going to tell you. You can take lessons, Bonnie. I saw the line. You can get there. You can learn how to do it. And it's really funny. Some people, they're unsure, then they get it. And guess who teaches the flying lessons?
Jesus.
Christopher Reeve.
That's not true. That's what she said.
That's absolutely what she said.
Okay, I would have laughed if I got to that one.
She said Christopher Reeve is in heaven, and what this shows is that whatever your talents and gifts are here on earth, you get to use them and do whatever you want up there. So Christopher Reeve is there. Elvis is there. Elvis was singing for Jesus. She passed him. He was putting on a little concert. Whitney Houston. John Wayne is there, and he still makes movies.
Of course. What else would he do? It was his passion.
Because going back to the whole movie thing, there's theaters there, and she says what they're named, I forget. She said they do show movies there, and they do show the same movies that were on Earth if they're clean.
So if they made fun of certain people from certain countries, and now we don't make fun of people from certain countries, are those parts edited out? What era are they showing movies from?
You're going to have to...
Because clean is one thing in 1999, and clean is a different thing in 1950.
Very true. I think it's...
Oh, and P.S., let me just go back to this. If she says that there's no rust, and no mildew and mold, why are there lines?
Oh,
why are there lines?
Yeah, because that'd be
why do we have to take lessons?
The first thing I'd want to get rid of, yeah.
I guess to teach patience and humility.
Well, I think you already learn, right, when you're there?
I guess not. I mean, I would say that mold probably doesn't have any nice byproduct like learning humility and patience.
I don't know. But I know she's...
Christopher Reeve.
But she's...
I thought John Travolta would. But apparently it's only people who are dead as of her lifetime.
You have to die, yep.
Okay.
And she said that, you can have anyone over to eat, blah, blah, blah. But what was I going to say? So she said there's pizza parties, that Jesus loves to throw pizza parties.
Of course.
She didn't say
on Wednesday nights.
That's right. $2. There's ice cream. There's no lactose intolerance, which that sort of sells it for me, actually. So she said there's a place called Ice Cream Village. There's Cartoon Land. There's a big arcade. There's Christmas Town. Christmas Town has snow, but it's because people like snow, but it's not like cold snow.
Right. It doesn't make your bones ache.
I guess it doesn't melt. I'm not sure. And she says, guess who is in charge of Christmas Town? She said, that's right, Nick. So I guess she's talking about St. Nicholas? I don't know. Nick Jonas.
God.
She said there's... let's see. She said there's different kind of dancing places. There's line dancing, which, are you really sure you're in heaven? Hip hop and whatnot.
Hooray. That is not right because hip hop is not clean because there's gyrating and some cussing. So, so it's going to be all music by Carmen.
Right. Oh, God. Riot.
Thanks, Cat Care.
Carmen is, if this is true, he is in his element right now. He's making clocks that are paper.
He's not making clocks. He's painting. He's painting what a clock looks like.
I don't know, but he's having a good time, I guess. There are different areas, the Spice Mountains. There is also, this is some parts that I really was interested in. There are chocolate waterfalls.
Willy Wonka.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, it's called a Star Cruiser, the thing that you can travel in. And then she said there's a place called Jello Land.
Okay. Is there wrestling there?
Nice. Way to class it up,
that's
Bonnie.
Dirty.
But just think about this.
Sticky.
She said it's called Jello Land. The kids love it. They slide on these Jello things. They eat the Jello. They eat the things. I'm like, isn't Jello a brand?
It's a name brand. It's like Band-Aid.
Exactly.
It should be gelatin dessert.
So God really copies an on-earth brand without trademarking it.
Yeah, gelatin dessert land with
With Bill Cosby saying, "Guess who's here?" Great.
with the Jello pudding. So when I was watching one of her videos, she just was going on and then pausing and hinting at something, and then she would get back to what she was hinting at, and it wouldn't be interesting. Mm-hmm. And the people you could hear them in the audience, whatever venue they were in, church, etc. They were just kind of like praise Jesus-ing her back, like, woo,
yeah,
preach it, sister. But she's not a preacher.
No, she's a prophetess.
But I guess she just gives messages to people.
Right.
Okay.
So God...
She's been doing this a while.
Yes. And she says, she has a book out, and she says that, she used to see people in heaven that are relatives of people. Then she'd come back to earth and find those people and call them and say, God has a message for you. And it would usually be like, okay, your daughter who died too early, she wants you to know she's happy and she's with your great-grandfather. I mean, come on. You already know that the great-grandfather's going to be dead.
Well, you put this in the little notes that we're sharing right now that I like this because she does one of those things that people pick up from public speaking. It says, remember, Jesus does not choose the qualified. He qualifies the chosen.
I want to talk about that so badly because we used to hear that. I heard it in churches on the mission field. Say it again. Preach it again, Bonnie.
Remember, Jesus does not choose the qualified. He qualifies the chosen.
Why can he please not choose the qualified? That would work so much better.
So much better.
Oh my God. So she talks about her little team. I don't know if you can see it under.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And she names everyone and then what they're called.
Now, what does that mean, her team?
So the people who...
Are these real people?
These are real people. Yeah, I know. You did have to ask. The real people that travel around with her, I think they're mostly related to her, help her do all her, videos and stuff. So go ahead and read what she's put for each of their characteristic things.
Hang on. So these are the people from whom we will get a phone call going, don't make fun of our aunt because she's got mental problems and a video camera.
Seriously.
Lord. Okay. Okay, so there's Kat, we know her. Margaret, big on bling. Who's not? Drives a Harley. Calculates in the now but lives in the future. And on purpose stops to smell the roses.
Well, you didn't read Kat, what Kat's about.
Oh, well, because I thought we all knew. Rocks the color pink, has many frequent flyer miles to heaven. Food group, chocolate ice cream and pizza.
What?
Rules
Those
in
are the
spirit.
things she said were in heaven.
What? rules in the spirit from an invisible platform. Did she put this somewhere?
This is on the website. Yes.
Okay.
It says our team, and this is it. Where sometimes you see our team and you see, has worked here, has these qualifications, or even things like...
Wait, you mean the last tab that I never click, about us?
Right.
Nope.
That's the one I always click. I love it.
Jen takes blue hair to a whole new level, which is wrong because Smurfs are evil, as we learned a couple episodes ago. Chooses life, George Michael reference, and shares it often. Former dog nanny. Former.
Yikes.
That's terrifying. What would she let happen to the dog? Sees, that's in quotes, heaven in cartoon images.
Is that probably why there's Cartoon Land? It's, wow.
Oh, my gosh.
We have Captain Bing, and I think that's
her husband.
It's her husband.
Last name Bing.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Random prankster, lifelong fist. Oh my God. Started to say fist whisperer. That's not good. Lifelong fish whisperer. Loves strawberry ice cream and cat's pink hair. Drives a 1993 Jeep affectionately named the Baitmobile.
All right.
Ew.
That's got the FBI looking. Then there's Keel, and the qualifications here are speaks fluent Wookiee, looks good in moose antlers, sings sounds of heaven, and makes a mean tomato pie.
Sings sounds of heaven. So, I just feel like this is also probably a list of characters from some kind of movie that she's putting together.
Which we'll get into. Let's do that after you read Gigi.
All right. Gigi, eternally young, which makes me think Gigi is a grandmother of some sort.
True.
Queen of the zip line. Well, that
maybe
just
not.
negated that one. Little leader of a tribe born to demonstrate heaven.
Because we love the word tribe these days. That works well.
Oh, right. And loves dill pickle and peanut butter sandwiches. All
right.
Okay.
They're quirky. They're cute. They're the Cat Care Show. All right.
Each of them has a food item in them.
Yeah. Now,
except Jen. Jen
means
might
business.
Oh my God. Oh, and I saw one of the episodes where she was talking about all the shit that you can buy from her too.
Right.
And that went on a long time.
So that was the one that I sent you that I said, listen to this. And I love the two main things she was talking about was Hollywood and this merch she's come out with. So I'll do the merch and then you do the Hollywood. We each will take our own hobbies and interests. So she comes up with this amazing sticker magnet thing that says, I don't do demons. And like the crowd laughed. She said, put this out on your car or on your desk. That starts a conversation.
But she says that it's a way to tell them who you are without making them... oh God, how did she put it?
She said,
it's a way to make them know who you are and what you're standing for.
Without really talking about a certain denomination or belief system. She felt that it was sort of sly, but I don't think there's any subtlety to it. Now, she also sells these Weather Warrior kit. So it comes with a laminated map.
Ooh, I didn't see that.
It looks like what is a plain composition notebook, but maybe has a sticker on it and a pin, a whiteboard pin.
It's a write-on, wipe-off pin.
Yep, to mark on that map. And then a logo in various forms that says... Weather Warrior Guide, over the weather, not under it, because she takes credit for knocking down a Category 4 hurricane to like a 2.
She has the little hurricane yin yang kind of thing that we always see when they're approaching, and a little tiny cross. Like, me. I strike you down, hurricane.
So you can get your own.
You know, there's
kit.
a good chance
it's
that.
A kit.
What?
It's a kit, though. You're not going to be able to put this together any other way. Finding a notebook, finding a map. You got to buy it all in one $50 kit.
No other way. And there is always a really good chance that any hurricane approaching is not going to turn into a big one. I mean, obviously, sometimes they do, but, you know, odds are just on your side.
And she does live in Jacksonville, and this is very hurricane-centric as far as weather issues.
One of these sessions, she started talking about how she went to Hollywood and read a script for a motion picture, but she said a whole script in 20 hours, which you can read a script a lot faster than that.
I didn't. So she comes in and she looks harried, like, oh, I was just in Hollywood, and let me tell you, God is taking over Hollywood, folks. Amen, sister.
Yeah.
Yep, he's taking over Hollywood, and I'm not going to tell you, but there's something good happening there. Then she talks about her I don't do demons sticker, and then she comes back to, and I just returned from Hollywood, and okay, I'll tell you.
I'm not going to tell you, but okay, I'll tell you.
There's going to be a movie about me.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's what she says. Thanks. There's going to be a movie. And then she starts talking again. Then she comes back to it like, oh, yeah, just getting off that plane. Let me come back to my movie. And I spent a whole 20 hours reading the script. I didn't understand that either. Maybe she means a read
20 hours. They're shorter than that, too.
Wow.
But I want her to talk about Hollywood and be like, you know, and they sent transportation for me. It was the Big Blue Shuttle. I was with 8 other people.
And although they weren't reading my script out loud, I felt we were all reading it in the spirit realm.
I wonder if somebody's making a movie about her and they're going to make it funny and she doesn't realize it, which would be mean.
I have a feeling it's sort of like the book industry where she has somehow arranged with a very small-time person who really has no credits, and the movie's not going to go anywhere, and she's paying for it, or something like that.
Well,
but I wanted
that does worry me. I don't want anybody to be tricked into paying for a movie that isn't going to go anywhere.
Well, she's tricked people out of their money. So, I mean, really, is it?
Well, I really don't think it's cool to say that you know what God looks like.
But she does, and she said he looks like everything and nothing, and there's a river going through him, and it's just light. It's just light.
Well, that's just nature.
Although she has had someone draw what she sees, I will let you guess what Jesus looks like.
He's white?
He's the same one we've been seeing since the 60s.
Does he have brown hair?
He does.
Is it long?
Now, she did say...
Is there a mustache?
She said that God
trimmed?
and Jesus had trimmed facial hair, which I thought was interesting. Like very
Danny
specific
McBride?
that it was trimmed, as in that's more socially acceptable. I don't know.
Here's what I want to know. When were scissors invented? And when did they start trimming all of this? I mean, I guess you'd have to like part a long mustache to eat, and then you put it back and then comb it down over your mouth hole. I don't know.
I don't know.
This facial hair is always nicely trimmed. Well, okay, so I read that she has at least 2 books.
Right.
There was book 1 and then book 2. Mm-hmm. So I went to my favorite source for information that I think is funny, the reviews from Amazon. And it's beyond weird how many people gave it great reviews.
I know. Like a lot of people follow her. Yeah.
A lot of people love it, and they take comfort in what she's seeing because they feel like they'll be reunited with their family again.
Right.
In heaven. And so that's a positive thing and comforting. I mean, I can't judge about who can get comfort from where. Okay, so here are some of the reviews from Amazon that were in the critical column. You can choose to read good reviews or bad reviews, as is the way of the digital age these days. Let's see. Somebody actually said, "This is not her opinions. It is reality." I don't know how they know.
I know. It's
also their verb subject doesn't agree. A wonderful book on heaven, but the descriptions of hell are truly terrifying. And because of this, the book really wasn't for me.
I like that
I'm
part.
fine.
I do not like that. Yeah. That one hurts me.
While many of these descriptions aren't found detailed in the Bible, I have found none that contradict the Bible. So the movie theater part,
right. Jello
ice
Land,
cream, Jello. Under the sorry. All right, this one falls under the heading, "This is your only question." My only question is, why is heaven described in a way that would appeal to an American culture? I.e., there are movie theaters, an amusement park with a roller coaster called Rush, and a water wave park called Wipeout, golf courses, etc. Something is very strange about this book and her explanations. We need to test the spirits. My only question is why it's America-centric.
That's a very good point, though.
Here's another one. I've thought about this book since I read it. It is unusual in a sense. It is pointedly graphic in what Ms. Kerr encountered. And who are we to judge? Okay.
Common sense warriors. That's what we're going to start. Our cult is common sense warriors.
Who are we to judge? It's called a review section. But that's exactly what she does. She says, "Oh, so you're God?
Yeah.
Now you're going to tell me what heaven's like?" Let's see. Here's another one. Amazing and realistic, okay, account of heaven. Enjoyed reading very much. I don't know that this person realizes what the word realistic means. Oh my gosh. Then my favorite one. No offense, Kat. I guess us Catholics believe otherwise. After all, Catholics do have the one true faith.
Ooh, she must have
slammed
them.
Ooh, burn.
It's fascinating because all of it is very human-y. So she said that not everyone walks around in robes. She kept bringing that up, saying there are pants and this other clothes. You get a whole wardrobe because how else are you going to ride the roller coasters? And then
you get a whole wardrobe?
Yes, you get a wardrobe.
From Stitch Fix with 20% off with a code.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fascinating. It gets very detailed. She talks about how when you get to heaven, you're given a white stone and God writes your nickname on it. So
your nickname?
I know.
Oh, no.
Exactly.
What if you don't like your nickname?
And then she said, and you know what? It's not a white stone. It's a white diamond. So everything is just very human-y, very American-y, like she said.
See, but I'm just picturing it like Animal House when he's like, your new name is Flounder. Flounder.
Right. What if you get to heaven and like you didn't know what you were really like? And God is like, here you go.
Your name is
Big
Rotten
Nose.
Shrimp.
You go and you bring your whiteboard marker for the map with you. You change it to gorgeous.
Haha, God, I wiped off your nickname that you read on my stone.
You ruined this diamond. So you can find Cat Care everywhere. I want to credit, again, like most of the stuff we do, to the friendlyatheist.com website, because he likes to highlight her. Whenever she comes out with her Kuka stuff, he just,
Kuka
gives a nice little brief thing about how crazy she is. But anyway, and I don't want to say crazy, because I think once we categorize people like this as crazy, we discount them. And I don't think she should be discounted. I think she's a product of indoctrination and her imagination, and everywhere she's loved and been in life. So, yeah.
I suppose that it upsets me that she's making money from it.
Right. These people get tons of followers. I think some people are like, oh, this person's ridiculous. But again, once they start hearing things, they might be like, I want that. Doesn't sound true, but I want it to be.
Yeah.
I want to go around with my friends and see everyone, and you and I hang out at the craft lodge. Oh, there is a hunting lodge. We'll end on this. Where people who love to hunt for people.
With paintballs?
So you go to this hunting lodge and people get teamed together and you get given some kind of weapon, and there are, I think, I don't know if they're entities, but you go out and you, quote, capture them. You aren't killing anything or anyone. But whenever you capture them back at the lodge, it goes on this big, wide screen that's like, Jethro captured one. And so...
Jethro.
But it's not animals. It's like people type. Yeah.
So she's described paintball.
Right.
Wow.
I don't know, man.
I don't know. I mean, I've got some ideas. Maybe I should just venture off and put them all on a YouTube channel.
Seriously. Someone did that, I think, on TikTok. Just put really outlandish claims as a bio and instantly got so many followers, 19,000 within a couple days. People want to hear something, but I think you should do that.
I'm going to tell all about the apartment that I dream about in New York that doesn't exist.
That's really a metaphor. Yeah. Well, that's it.
All right, y'all.
Yep.
Oh, and don't forget we have a newsletter, so it's coming your way soon.
That's right. So twice a month we have a newsletter, and it's for people who want to support the pod, and we really say thank you. It's $7 a month, and it's like Patreon, but you get 2 newsletters, and we put some more serious stuff, some more personal stuff, and we give away an Illuminitals Celebrity Saints candle once a month. And we love Gavin at Illuminitals, and that is it. Oh, I wonder if he can make one of cat hair. Anyway, have a good week.
I bet she has one.
Yes. I got it from Candleland, where the flame, it isn't hot,
but it's not cold.
See you next week.
Bye.